What's new, Dino Dudes? It's me, the Media Raptor. You know where we are? So how about we skip the formalities and jump right into the video. So this time we're going to be talking about one of the newest characters to the whole MK roster, Cassie Cage. Or as to those of you who don't know, Johnny and Sonya's daughter. Now when she first came out in MKX, I didn't think too much of her. I didn't hate her, I thought she was fun to play as, but overall the character was just good. Nothing phenomenal, certainly wasn't going to make me become my new main, that's what Aaron Black certainly was. But overall, I didn't feel like it was a character that needed much improvement. It just didn't really seem like my kind of character, you know? Well, NetherRealm Studios once again has taken a character I thought looked good and completely overhauled her to a point when I'm like, I've got to try this character now because it looks awesome. See, thankfully they've kept her very fast-paced gameplay with a lot of actual full-on punching and kicking attacks, which are also can be amplified thanks to her shadow kick ability. But they've also given her a lot more use of her guns, which was great because back in MKX she only had one or two attacks that actually used them. And to be honest, that was a little annoying that it also took a long time to take out, there was a slight delay, about maybe 1.5 second delay from when you inputted the attack to when it would actually hit the opponent, which could lead to issues when you're trying to act fast. Now granted, meter burning it would allow you to kind of push your opponent back with a bunch of rapid shots from two guns, but to me Aaron Black did it better. I do like the fact that they've kind of revamped the whole gun kung fu idea and are now making her much more of a, martial artist mixed with guns. I think that's cool. As you're seeing right here, there's a little drone hanging out in the background, and I'll talk about that in a minute. My kinda real issue with this character. Something else I like is that she seems to have a lot of very good attacks for, being up close, and then keeping her opponent up in the air, or just generally, out of, control essentially, I guess is the best way to put it. She has attacks that can hit low, can hit high, and can hit the middle. As the Kombat cast put it best, she's very much a wild card. Again, I kind of have to play the game and actually, try the character, but I think that could be very interesting, not only for the whole esports setting, but just in general. She looks to be completely revamped, given a new design, I think a new voice that I really do like, and just everything about her seems pretty darn good. Certain attacks will seem familiar to those of you who used to play her, such as the Shadow Kick and the Nut Punch, which is now much more of a combo ender, which does have a fatal blow. I'm not going to show it to you though. Actually I am, so if you're sensitive to this kind of stuff, look away right now.
Oh my god. There you go. Yeah.
Oh! Ow. That just looks painful. A whole sort of variation that was made based off of her is essentially using the Shadow Kick in a bunch of new ways, namely for high and low attacks or punches or takedowns, which I think just looks really cool. I like her flying Shadow Kick similar to what Liu Kang has, but given the whole Shadow Kick treatment. It just seems cool. She can actually hang off her drone and attack. She can bring an opponent to the ground and just violently beat them into the ground with her shadow punches. And she can't teleport, which is the one thing I was thinking they might have done, but overall, no, it seemed like they did a great job. Now, my one real issue is the whole drone. You might be asking, okay, what's wrong with the character having a drone? Didn't Sonya have a drone back in MKX? Yes, and that's my issue with it. Cassie was, useful at least in one of her variations by using a baton or a nightstick, like what Stryker did, but a lot more effective. It just feels kind of weird that a character who had a whole drone set out, that being Sonya, is now essentially having that taken from her and given to somebody else who didn't use it as much. Furthermore, the drone really seems to kind of have some effects, such as being able to completely block damage or massively decrease damage, and even, attack the opponent while she sort of stands there. Now, granted, this is so far the biggest problem I've had with the game, which is actually pretty darn major, It seems like the shield is going to be used either for offense or defense, or maybe both, depending what sort of variation or equipment you equip with it. But I don't know. To me, it made more sense when Sonya had it, because Cassie was so well defined as a boxer essentially, and her nightstick was really useful for combos or just powerful uppercuts. That taking that away from her kind of feels like you're taking a lot away from her. But she does make up for this with her both with her fatal blows and fatalities. Again, I know I've said this in pretty much every episode, but I think out of all of them, Cassie is the one character I'm a little bit wary on, which is actually due to the fact that it seems like they've taken what should have been given to Sonya and would have made a lot more sense for that character, and given it to a character that never really used anything like this. Now, granted, this could turn out totally awesome and I could be proven completely wrong. In fact, I kinda hope I am. But it is certainly something to think about in the upcoming weeks leading up to both the open beta and eventually the game's release. Anyhow, Dino Dudes, that's all for this episode of Raptor's Kombat Korner, so until next time, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and drop a comment down below so I can get talking about, all things Mortal Kombat these days, about the hype, the fears, and what we gotta think the story will be like. It'd be great to hear from you guys. And until next time, this is the Media Raptor, saying keep cool, and I'll see all you Dino Dudes around. Later.
Fatality. Cassie Cage wins.